Heya Cryptozens. Tonight's show: CEO Saylor Sued, actual Mt. Gox news, and Paraguay President Vetoes crypto bill. It's 10 p.m. Pacific. The date is August 31st, 2022, and welcome back to the Crypto Overnighter. My name is Nikodemus, and I'll be your host. The cover model, mascot, and co-host for this podcast is Tex, and together we take a nightly look at the crypto, NFT, and metaverse space and the industry that surrounds it. And keep in mind, nothing in this show should ever be considered financial advice. The tax man is coming for Michael Saylor. I don't wish that on my worst enemy. If he goes down, it might be his love of the sea that does him in. Here's what I'm talking about. Karl Racine is the Attorney General for the District of Columbia. He announced that his office is going after Michael Saylor for charges of tax evasion. And not just Saylor, Microstrategy too. So here's what's going on. Racine put out a tweet thread today. In that thread, he announced his suit against Microstrategy and Saylor. In that suit, Racine alleges that Saylor never paid any DC income taxes, and further, that the company, Microstrategy, that they conspired to help him evade taxes. He kicked off his tweet thread saying, quote, "Today, we're suing Michael Saylor, a billionaire tech executive who has lived in the district for more than a decade, but has never paid any DC income taxes for tax fraud." Now, that's a pretty serious accusation. Tax evasion is what they finally nailed Capone on. Now, Racine alleges that Saylor owes more than $25 million in taxes. Taxes that Racine said are due because Saylor lived in D.C. Now, if he's found guilty, it'll be a lot more than $25 million, up to $100 million. That's how much Saylor and MicroStrategy would be on the hook for. Racine said, quote, "With this lawsuit, we're putting residents and employers on notice. If you enjoy all the benefits of living in our great city while refusing to pay your fair share in taxes, we will hold you accountable." You see, D.C. reworked one of their laws. The Council for the District of Columbia changed the False Claims Act. And so it is that Racine's office uses that False Claims Act to establish enforcement authority. And in that act, it says that the AG can impose triple damages. 25 million times 3 is a whole lot of money. Now remember, I said they changed the False Claims Act. One of the changes was designed to make it easier for whistleblowers to come forward. And apparently, that's just what happened, as a whistleblower filed a complaint against the CEO. Racine said this suit is, quote, "the first lawsuit brought under the district's recently amended False Claims Act, encouraging whistleblowers to report residents who evade our tax laws by misrepresenting their residence." So that covers Saylor. But what about MicroStrategy? Well, the Attorney General believes that MicroStrategy was highly complicit. They allege that MicroStrategy knew good and well that Saylor was breaking the law. So the law is, if you live in D.C. for at least 183 days, you're subject to D.C. taxes. Seems simple enough, but that's the issue. They allege that MicroStrategy knew that Saylor was living in Georgetown and that he had a penthouse where he docked at least 2 luxury yachts. The AG's office said, quote, "Saylor avoided paying more than $25 million in D.C. income taxes by claiming to be a Florida or Virginia resident. MicroStrategy actively conspired with Saylor to enable his fraud, including by filing inaccurate W-2s with the address of his property in Florida rather than his home in D.C., and by failing to withhold and remit D.C. taxes." When the news broke, Crypto Twitter did Crypto Twitter things. The biggest sentiment I've seen so far is, well, duh, you asked for it. Okay, there is an 18-second clip that may have spurred some of this on, kind of a I dare you attitude. So in this clip, Saylor is talking about Bitcoin and taxes, and that Bitcoin was a useful tool for evading taxes. He said, quote, "If you push me too far, I lost it. It's gone. Sorry. Tax that." Well, that seemed to be mentioned in the filing today. It says, quote, Moreover, Saylor bragged in a January 24, 2021 interview that Bitcoin is an ideal tool for evading taxes, suggesting that owners of Bitcoin to tell the government to go F themselves and claim to have lost their Bitcoin access key, daring the government to tax that. I don't think that's the case. I don't think it really had anything to do with what he said. Whistleblower? That makes much more sense. So, that said, they might not be going after him for saying tax that, but that is not going to convince them to take it easy on him. Suggesting to people that they can get away with evading taxes isn't something that the U.S. government likes to hear, especially not from tech billionaires. At the time of writing, the global crypto market cap is $978 billion. That's up 0.15%. The top 5 cryptos by market cap are Bitcoin up 0.66%, Ethereum up 0.22%, Tether, USDC, and Binance Coin down 1.44%. Now, on this show, we were just recently talking about Mt. Gox and the FUD surrounding it. Rumors of massive amounts of Bitcoin being dumped on the market, and Bitcoin's price is going to crash. That's what everybody's concerned about. That's what the rumors say. And a lot of people are really concerned. So let's back up a bit and make sure that everybody's on the same page. Okay? Mt. Gox was a Bitcoin exchange in Tokyo, a big one too. In the 4 years between its launch in 2010 and 2014, Mt. Gox was handling over 70% of all Bitcoin transactions worldwide. I say was because in February of 2014, boom, the party was truly over. Mt. Gox suspended trading, took the website and the exchange service down, and filed for bankruptcy protection. In April of 2014, they entered liquidation proceedings. Why? How did they go from being the processor for most of the world's Bitcoin transactions to filing bankruptcy and going through liquidation? Well, they got hacked. Okay, they got hacked more than once. Now, the first time I know of was June of 2011. 25,000 Bitcoin robbed from 478 wallets. Another time, this guy got in using a code from a Mt. Gox auditor's computer. And there were issues. One time a series of fraudulent trades forced the price of Bitcoin to drop to 1 cent each. Now, every exchange has issues. That goes hand in hand with being an early adopter, a beta tester on brand new tech. And so it came to pass that on 4 February 2014, Mt. Gox halted all withdrawals. People started feeling the stress of this. 23 February 2014. The CEO resigns from the board of the Bitcoin Foundation. 24 February, Mt. Gox suspends all trading. Its website went offline. February 28th, they file for bankruptcy protection. And the walls are closing in now because the truth gets out at that point. 750,000 Bitcoin lost from customers. Another 100,000 lost of their own. Gone. 7% of all Bitcoins stolen. Now, they did find some. They got some Bitcoin back. And that is what this is all about. Rumors started about a repayment scheme for the people who had their Bitcoin stolen, and that they would be getting part of 137,000 Bitcoin. That's how much is going back to the customers. Now, as we reported earlier, rumors were giving some Bitcoiners a bit of concern because these rumors said that payouts would be going out on August 28th. Now, as we noted in our August 28th report, Mt. Gox FUD, that never happened. Those repayments never went out. Those rumors were unfounded. FUD. Now, we have an update on actual real news now. It comes from the trustee, Nobaki Kobayashi. He put out some information today regarding the repayment plan for creditors. Okay, listen carefully here. Don't go half-cocked thinking repayments are starting soon. That's not what this means, but the case is advancing. According to the information, something called restriction reference period starts on September 15th. Like I said, this doesn't mean repayments. In fact, it says that while they're in this phase, quote, the assignment, transfer, or succession, provision as collateral, or disposition by any other means of rehabilitation claims are prohibited. But another thing this means is you're running out of time. If you had Bitcoin on Mt. Gox and it was stolen, you don't have a lot of time left to file your claim. In fact, you only have until September 15th, and then the case moves to the restriction reference period. During that time, quote, the rehabilitation trustee will cease accepting applications for claim transfer procedures through the rehabilitation claim filing system. So basically, we're at the closing of the claim phase. Still a long way to go from repayment. They're going to have to get account information. They're going to have to run a know your customer on everybody. Now, the reason why I bring this up, in the documents filed, it has a start date and an end date for the restriction reference period. In the start date, it says September 15th, 2022. In the end date, it says base repayment deadline. Well, that date hasn't been figured out yet. Otherwise, it would be in that spot. So let's recap. The Mt. Gox claim period is ending. That does not mean repayments are starting, and they're not likely to for months, if not years to come. The global NFT market cap is down 7.59%. Sales volume is down 1.53% in 24 hours. According to CoinMarketCap, the top 5 NFT collections by sales volume are Bored Apes, followed by Clonex, Moonbirds, Women Ape Yacht Club, and Otherdeed. Now keep in mind, some of these collections have very volatile prices, so do your own research. Mario Benitez is the president of Paraguay, and it is in that role that Benitez vetoed a bill. This bill was aimed at bringing cryptocurrency in as a recognized industry. Now, his complaint? Electrical costs. He feels that mining's high electrical consumption will hurt the chances of a different industry developing, one that's more sustainable. Now, he issued a presidential decree announcing his decision, and in that decree, he laid out that because crypto burns a lot of energy with low manpower involved, he doesn't feel that the value proposition for crypto is there. It's just not as good as other industrial activities. That is, despite the fact that crypto is one of the largest job creators. LinkedIn's economic graph has blockchain jobs listed as going up 615% in 2021 compared to the previous year. People like Emily Landon, the crypto recruiter, going out every day, helping people land jobs in crypto. But anyway, and the complaint about energy usage seems to be avoiding some facts. For example, Senator Fernando Silva Facchetti, he is the bill's sponsor. Now, his bill was set up to promote crypto mining by using excess electricity. That's a common thing, especially where electrical production is pretty much steady. When usage is down, that electricity is wasted. If you let some miners use that excess electricity, then the waste is gone. Tax the miners, let them profit, everyone's happy. And so it was thinking like that led the Paraguayan Senate to approve the proposal on July 14th. And they suggested just what I said. They put a 15% tax on it, but that is potentially subject to change. In their documentation, it shows the industrial investment went up by 220% last year. That's on top of the 4% GDP growth in the last 5 years. That means crypto mining in Paraguay might outstrip the amount of electricity being produced. The president's decree rejecting the proposal said, quote, if Paraguay wants to intensify crypto mining today, in the next 4 years, it will be forced to import electricity. So while there's some excess electricity being produced, just how much of a safety margin the country has is in question. These developments are in sharp contrast to the country of Georgia, one of the most crypto-friendly countries. It sounds like they're putting forward a new batch of crypto regs. So what they're doing is they're working on a framework specifically crafted for digital businesses and crypto trading. According to their Minister of Economy, this bill aims to bring the local crypto laws in line with three major European Union directives: the Payment Services Directive, the Capital Requirements Directive, and the Virtual Asset Service Provider Law. And that last one is what gives legal status to the various companies involved in the illegal assets trade. And they're specifically looking to prevent the use of crypto money for laundering or financing terrorists. The first we heard of Georgia preparing new crypto rules came with the Russian invasion of Ukraine. Tens of thousands of Russians fled into Georgia to escape Western sanctions. Crypto was the go-to tool for Russians who found themselves in Russia, cut off from their access to their bank accounts and their credit cards. Before we say goodnight, I just want to thank you. I see you folks on Twitter, on social media. You're liking my posts, you're retweeting, you're commenting. I really appreciate that. Now take care of yourselves, but take care of each other too. We'll see you tomorrow night.